From a bizarre photo of a mysterious creature soaring over the Ruby Mountains in Nevada, to haunting footage of a demon waiting for the homeowner at his door, and even disturbing proof that Michigan's woods are hiding something. These are some of the most unsettling moments ever captured. On August 19th, 2017, YouTuber Todd Timler uploaded a footage from one of his hikes, which starts out calm, but then his camera picks up something bizarre. At first glance, many might think it's just an ape or gorilla. However, this video was filmed in Kalkaska Woods, a small village in Michigan, and there are no apes or gorillas living wild in those woods. If you're thinking it was a bear, let's be honest, a bear can't walk bipedally like that. This creature was covered in black fur, walked with a humanoid posture, and was quite tall. With all that, this thing checks all the boxes for a Bigfoot, as we typically see on the internet. Some might suggest it could be someone in a suit, but it's unlikely a person could walk so comfortably and quickly in that manner. It's also not the first time this has happened in Michigan. Just a year before, in 2016, a hiker managed to capture a large bipedal black creature passing through the woods in the distance and snapped a photo of it. After these sightings, Michigan became a hot topic for Bigfoot enthusiasts to conduct their research. If these sightings and accounts are real, then we all want to know what the Michigan woods are hiding. This adventurous explorer decided to investigate a rumored dogman hotspot near his hometown, thinking it would just be a fun little trip. But what happened out there made him regret that decision for the rest of his life.
Yeah, it sounded fucking human.
Despite hearing these strange howls echoing through the woods, he pressed on, determined to prove the rumors wrong. But then, his worst nightmare appeared.
Something's moving over there. Right over that way. Look. Right there. Fucking loud.
You can clearly see something, a head peeking from behind the trees. When you combine that with the bone-chilling howl from earlier, it's hard to shake the feeling that something truly unknown was lurking there. The sound wasn't like any animal we've heard before. The comment section went wild, with many insisting this had to be the infamous dogman. Even the uploader himself admitted he believes that's what he captured. And what makes it worse, this all happened in broad daylight. That means whatever this creature was, it didn't care if it was day or night. If it wanted to stalk you, it would. Honestly, I think he made the right call by running the hell out of there. But what do you think? Did this explorer stumble upon a real cryptid, or was it just another internet hoax meant to fool us? This homeowner had just returned from the grocery store, but what he found lurking at his front door nearly gave him a heart attack.
Okay, so I just got home from work. Should be nobody in the house, nobody at all.
As he was about to park his car, he noticed what looked like a dark, demonic figure standing inside his house, silently waiting for him. According to him, he lives alone, which makes the sight even more terrifying. And the figure's size, its tall, broad frame, only added to the horror of the moment. Most of us would have bolted and called the police right then and there, but this guy actually went in.
Out.
When he opened the door, no one was there. He even searched the rest of the house, but it was completely empty. Yet, we all clearly saw that towering figure at the doorway. The question is, where did it go? Some believe it could have been something sinister, maybe even a devil waiting for him. Others argue it might have been nothing more than a trick of the light, a coat rack casting a shadow, combined with pareidolia, making it look like a figure. Either way, if I came home and saw something like that standing in my doorway, I'd sell the house and move out without a second thought. I usually open TikTok when I'm bored, just to chill for a bit. But yesterday, while scrolling, I came across a video that shook me to my core, and for reasons I wish I could forget. At first glance, it looks simple, a group of friends resting in a hall somewhere in Indonesia. But then, one of them captures something absolutely terrifying, a strange head, silently stalking them from the window. At first, it almost looks like a mannequin or some kind of prop, but if you watch closely, you'll notice it moves ever so slightly, proving it's alive. And before you say, maybe it's just one of their friends, the twisted expression on its face is something no normal human could ever pull off. The video quickly blew up, gaining over 18 million views. Viewers demanded a follow-up, asking the uploader to show the back of the window, and when he did, it only made things creepier. The window was completely clear. There was nothing behind it that could explain that horrifying face. And here's the part that scares me the most. We don't know how long that thing was there, silently watching them, or why. Honestly, I don't think I want to know. Imagine you're a mountain climber who just reached the summit. As you catch your breath, you notice a golden eagle soaring through the sky. Naturally, you raise your camera to snap a picture, but when you look closer, your blood runs cold. It isn't an eagle at all. This is exactly what happened to a climber in Nevada's Ruby Mountains. He believed he was photographing a golden eagle gliding above the peaks, but when he reviewed the shot, his blood ran cold. The creature wasn't just big, it was impossibly massive, its wings stretching wider than a plane. Its body looked ancient, almost prehistoric, and its talons gleamed sharp enough to crush bone. According to the climber, the beast vanished the moment after he clicked the photo, disappearing with incredible speed. When he shared the picture on Facebook, viewers reacted the same way he did, with shock and disbelief. While digging deeper, I discovered that it could be the creature from Native American legends that describe a gigantic bird said to command the skies known as the Thunderbird. Skeptics argue it's just a golden eagle, distorted by camera angle and perspective. But here's the strange part. When you zoom in on the photo, the pixels don't distort. The creature blends seamlessly into its surroundings, making it difficult to dismiss as a simple edit. So what did this climber capture that day? Was it truly just an eagle, a legendary Thunderbird, or something far older, a monster thought to have gone extinct millions of years ago? This next video comes from India, and it's the reason many locals are finding it hard to sleep peacefully at night. What kind of nightmare is this? The figure looks like something straight out of hell itself, but the most disturbing part is that it's running backwards and at an unbelievable speed. Of course, with clips like this, there's always the possibility of a hoax, but honestly, I don't know of any human who can run backwards that fast, especially while staring directly into the camera with such lifeless, dead eyes. If you listen closely, the men recording in Hindi mention that the creature seems afraid of motorcycles, as they're chasing it on one. That only adds another strange layer to this already terrifying scene. Seeing something like this really makes you wonder, what would you do if you ran into her, standing silently in front of you on a night walk? These guys were relaxing on the shores of Cairo, enjoying a sunny day when something unexpected washed up on the beach. As they got closer, what they saw was shocking. At first glance, it looked like some kind of strange turtle-like beast. Beachgoers were confused. They had never seen a turtle so massive, with such a soft and unusual shell. Some people quickly jumped to conclusions, calling it AI generated, or even a mutated turtle. But the truth is very different. This was actually a leatherback sea turtle, the largest turtle in the entire ocean. Unlike other turtles, leatherbacks don't have a hard shell. Instead, their backs are covered in a tough, leathery skin. This unique design allows them to dive to incredible depths, withstanding crushing ocean pressure. Sadly, this one didn't survive. If you look closely, it seems like something may have taken a bite out of it before it washed ashore. Leatherbacks are already considered vulnerable to extinction, so seeing one dead like this is heartbreaking. It's extremely rare to spot a leatherback on shore, and while it's an incredible sight, it's also a tragic reminder of how fragile these giants really are. It's said that despite all our advancements, we've only explored about 5% of Earth's oceans, leaving the rest shrouded in mystery. And sometimes, a video like this gives us a haunting glimpse of what might be out there. In 2018, a man named Kevin Burton filmed something unusual while enjoying his morning coffee on the pier in Tynemouth, England. A strange, snake-like creature appeared to be gliding just beneath the surface of the River Tyne, moving slowly and deliberately close to shore. Burton quickly pulled out his camera, joking that he might have captured the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster outside of Scotland. The footage, initially viewed fewer than 100 times, left viewers puzzled. Many couldn't agree on what the shadowy mass could be. In later re-uploads, some even referred to it as a naga, a serpent-like being from Asian mythology, often depicted as half-human, half-snake, and dwelling in the underworld. Of course, this isn't the first time a serpent-like figure has sparked curiosity. The Loch Ness Monster legend dates back to 565 AD, with over 1,000 reported sightings since then. But what makes Burton's video unsettling is the movement itself. It doesn't look like waves or debris. It looks alive. Something massive, gliding just under the surface and uncomfortably close to shore. Whether explainable or not, the mystery lingers, a reminder of how little we truly know about the waters around us. This next video comes from Reddit, and it might reveal the terrifying beings that lurk in the desert at night. In a desert area known as Red Sands, popular for off-roading, a chilling video was captured. At the start, a strange figure can be seen sprinting in front of a Jeep, moving at nearly the same speed as the vehicle. Oddly, the driver showed no reaction, never braking or swerving, suggesting he didn't see the figure at all. At the same time, something dark and shadowy appeared near the back of the Jeep, seemingly jumping on and off as the running figure passed. Viewers were quick to point out that its movement is faintly visible by the taillights. The group later reported that the entire night at Red Sands felt deeply unsettling, as if they weren't alone out there. The video itself is deeply unsettling. The way the figure keeps pace with the Jeep doesn't look natural at all, and the shadow at the taillights almost feels like it was trying to get inside. If I had been there that night, I don't think I would have lasted another minute in that desert. When it comes to delicious seafood, most of us, myself included, instantly think of lobsters. But after watching this video, I promise your perspective might change forever. This thing was massive. While lobsters typically grow 12 to 14 inches long, this creature looked nearly twice that size. And those glowing red eyes, they made it look like something straight out of hell. Some viewers dismissed it as a fake, while others even compared it to the Chasm Fiend, a terrifying fictional monster. At first glance, I'll admit, it looks deeply unsettling. But after digging into it, I found out that this was likely the giant Tasmanian crayfish, the largest freshwater invertebrate in the world. This endangered species can grow up to 80 centimeters long. Considering it was spotted in freshwater, far from the open ocean, it almost certainly was a giant crayfish. And here's something most people don't know. Some crayfish species really do grow to enormous sizes, like the one in this video. Their red eyes come from living in habitats with little sunlight. So yes, it's a known creature, not a monster. But let's be honest, if something that huge swam under your feet while you were in the water, it would still feel like the shock of a lifetime. Have you ever seen something so bizarre that your brain refuses to believe it's real life? Well, this Reddit user caught exactly that. This video was filmed off the coast of Sicily, and what it shows is downright strange. In the water, a long snake-like creature can be seen swimming, but the truly bizarre part is that it has a light shining from its mouth. At first glance, it looks almost extraterrestrial, like something out of a sci-fi nightmare. The uploader suggested two possibilities: either a diver with a headlamp or some kind of bioluminescent creature. But let's break that down. A diver? Highly unlikely. This thing was moving exactly like a snake or eel, long and fluid, not at all like a human swimmer. As for bioluminescent creatures, yes, they exist and they glow, but none are known to emit light as bright and focused as what we see here. If you ask me, the most chilling possibility is that it's a moray eel that somehow swallowed a flashlight. Either that, or someone out there is experimenting with some sort of underwater drone that mimics living creatures. I've seen glowing fish before, but never an eel with a beam of light shining from its mouth. That's a first for me. This photo was uploaded to Facebook and, according to the poster, Shaylee was taken at her sister's wedding, just before the groom saw her in her dress for the very first time. But when the family later looked back at the picture, a chilling detail emerged that left everyone stunned. At first glance, everything looks normal. The groom waiting, the bride with her father, and the bridesmaids behind them. But if you focus on the bride's face and zoom in, something disturbing becomes clear. Her features look unnaturally distorted, almost as if another ghostly face is overlapping hers. It's like the image of a second bride is trying to bleed through, warping her expression in a terrifying way. The uploader insists the photo was never edited, and there were no obvious explanations like smoke, lens flares, or reflections. To make it even stranger, the wedding was held in a remote rural location, far from anything that could cause such an effect. And that's not all. If you look into the background, you can make out what seems to be another bride-like figure. She appears to be wearing a wedding dress, but her face is blurred and smoky, giving her an almost ghostly presence. Now, some argue this could simply be wear and tear on the photograph, making the bride's face appear distorted. But what about the mysterious figure in the background? Was this really just a photographic glitch? Or could there have been a ghost bride standing among them that day? Some people believe we're living in a simulation, and that every now and then, glitches slip through to remind us of it. One such glitch was recently recorded in Australia, and it left the entire Reddit community buzzing. The footage looks almost unreal. The sky appears to be perfectly split in two, one side glowing a soft bluish hue, while the other burns with a pinkish glow. Viewers were left baffled, speculating whether this was a glitch in the Matrix or even a sign of the end times. One commenter, Xmagus, quickly chimed in, sharing his own capture of the exact same phenomenon in El Salvador just a month earlier. And sure enough, the skies in his photo look eerily identical. Of course, if we step back and look at it logically, it could just be a natural effect. Maybe the sun peeking over a mountain ridge or a tall building creating the illusion of a split. But even with a rational explanation, the sight is hauntingly beautiful and leaves you wondering, what if it really was a glitch? A group of workers were carrying out their shifts at a slaughterhouse in Veracruz port when one of them noticed something so bizarre, it froze him where he stood. At first glance, it looks like an extraterrestrial orb, or even some kind of craft, silently floating in the air. Trying to make sense of it only raises more questions. Could it be a drone? Possibly, but in that strange shape and moving that slowly, it doesn't match anything we've seen before. Could it be a bubble? Maybe, but the color, size, and steady movement make that explanation hard to believe too. The uploader himself was just as baffled as us, openly admitting he had no idea what he had captured and leaving it up to the viewers to decide. Growing up watching Alien, I was always terrified of the facehuggers, those nightmarish creatures that latched onto humans and took control of their bodies. But just 4 weeks ago, a video surfaced that reignited that exact fear all over again. The clip shows what looks like a bizarre spider with a long tail and unsettling body structure resting on the cameraman's finger. At first glance, it's small and spider-like, but its features eerily resemble the infamous facehugger from the Alien franchise. It looks disturbingly real, and for anyone who already hates spiders, this is basically a new addition to their worst nightmares. But before you panic, there's a strong chance this isn't real at all. It's highly likely that the clip was AI-generated to resemble a spider facehugger hybrid. If you look closely, the tail's texture doesn't blend naturally with the finger's color and details, suggesting digital manipulation. Still, whether it's AI or not, the idea of such a creature existing is pure nightmare fuel. Imagine one of these things actually crawling across your hand. Security cameras are installed to give us a sense of safety, but sometimes they capture things we were never meant to see, just like in this chilling video from the 15th of November. First, the toy truck moves on its own, and then the teddy shifts without anyone touching it. The timestamp shows it's 1 a.m., a time when the homeowner and their family were most likely asleep. So, who or what moved them? Even creepier, at the start of the clip, you can spot faint orbs drifting across the camera. Many believe these are signs of poltergeist activity, though skeptics argue they might just be insects reflecting the light. But that still doesn't explain the toy truck and the teddy bear moving by themselves. This house definitely gives off haunted vibes. If I were the homeowner, I'd be calling in a priest or a paranormal team immediately. But the real question is, what would you do if this happened in your house? Have a look at what this camera caught by accident in December.
Check it out, it's taller than a shed. These creatures are huge.
The video was uploaded to Facebook by the page Cryptid University, a community known for sharing wild and spine-chilling cryptid sightings from around the world. But this particular upload from December 2024 is on an entirely different level of terrifying and bizarre. It all starts like a regular drive across a quiet ranch. The dashcam records the peaceful surroundings as the rancher cruises along, until he takes a turn near an old shed, and the camera picks up something seriously strange. Right beside the shed, there's a dark, looming shape. At first glance, it might seem like just a shadow, until you realize it's taller than the shed itself. If you focus, you can almost make out what looks like a fur-covered body and long, dangling arms. According to the original uploader, this could be a Sasquatch, the legendary forest giant of North America. But the internet, as always, has its own theories. Some viewers are convinced it's nothing more than a charred tree stump, just nature playing tricks on us. Others believe it might be the weathered remains of a dead tree rotting into a humanoid shape. And then there's a far more mythical take. Some are saying it resembles Kokopelli, the Native American fertility deity associated with childbirth and agriculture. If you ask me, it probably is just a decayed or burnt tree, because we don't get a clear enough outline to definitively call it a Sasquatch. Sure, the darkened patch could be fur, and those long arms might resemble limbs, but it's vague at best. Still, the shape is eerie enough to stir our imagination and ignite debates. This woman was hiking through Northern California when she stumbled upon every hiker's darkest nightmare, one that feels like it was never meant to be found. The post was uploaded to Instagram on September 21st, 2024, and since then, it's been making waves across the entire Bigfoot enthusiast community. The images were reportedly submitted by a woman who was hiking through the mountainous trails of Northern California on New Year's Day, 2020. She had been capturing the peaceful beauty of nature until her camera picked up something unnerving. While climbing higher along a ridgeline, she noticed a tall, hairy figure peering at her from over the crest. At first, it might seem like a bear, but as you look closer, the proportions tell a different story. It was too tall, too upright. The figure stood with a humanoid posture and a conical-shaped head, a description that fits the legendary Sasquatch. According to the analysis by the Instagram page, Boise Bigfoot, the creature appeared to be around 7 to 8 feet tall, based on the surrounding geography for scale. And this isn't the first time something like this has been spotted in Northern California. In fact, the region is infamous for mysterious sightings like this one. Perhaps the most well-known is the Patterson-Gimlin footage, a legendary clip that shows a juvenile Bigfoot casually striding through the woods, captured after a brief pursuit by Roger Patterson himself. Then, more recently in October 2023, a channel called Hey Ho Studies uploaded another intriguing video. This time, the footage came from a hiker known as Wild Bill, who managed to record what looks like the same creature from a hidden vantage point deep in the forest. The resemblance is uncanny. Same height, same build, same strange movement. It's honestly mind-blowing how much credible footage and photographic evidence has surfaced from just this one region. At this point, you have to wonder, have we been ignoring something that's been living among us all along? Maybe it's finally time we accept the possibility that Sasquatch isn't a myth, but a mysterious creature of nature we've yet to officially discover. This homeowner was casually scrolling through his backdoor camera photos while on vacation when he spotted something that sent a chill straight down his spine. This image was posted about 5 months ago on the cryptid subreddit. According to the user who posted this, he was just killing time during his vacation, checking his camera feed out of habit until he stumbled upon this one frame. And what he saw was not what he expected. Captured in a single shutter frame was a dark, dog-like figure, frozen, staring straight into the camera. At first glance, it looks like just a regular dog, but then your eyes drift to its sunken midsection, and that's when the chills kick in. Now, based on most of the comments, and honestly, I agree, it really does look like a dog doing its business. The posture, the crouch, and the shape all line up with how a dog typically squats to relieve itself. A perfectly timed photo of a dog mid-dump. That's the logical explanation, and probably the truth. But there's something undeniably creepy about those glowing eyes locked onto the camera, like it knows it's being watched. That eerie stare has led a few commenters to suggest a much darker theory. Could it be a skinwalker disguised as a dog? We only have a single image to go off, so it's hard to say for sure. If you've ever felt like you were being watched, only to brush it off as your imagination, you might want to think again. This clip was uploaded to the r/cryptid subreddit by a user who was clearly shaken by what he witnessed. According to the post, he lives in Missouri, not far from the Trail of Tears, a place already known for its heavy atmosphere and haunted history. One day, while walking home, he suddenly felt that unmistakable sensation, like something was watching him from the woods. Trusting his instincts, he turned his camera toward the tree line, and what it captured nearly made his heart stop. Peeking out from behind the trees was a shadowy figure, just standing there, silent, motionless, watching. The uploader mentioned that the figure appeared much taller than it should have been, especially considering there's a ditch right beneath where it was standing. That would make whatever it is even more massive than it looks. Understandably, the uploader was terrified and turned to the internet for answers. Now, trying to approach this logically, if the figure was perched on a stump, it could possibly be an owl. But if it was actually standing behind the tree, then we might be looking at something far stranger. Something that looks like a cross between an owl and a humanoid figure. And if that's the case, my advice will be that if you ever come across something like this, don't run. Don't break eye contact, because if the legends are true and you look away, things might take a terrifying turn. In December 2024, 2 men disappeared deep inside the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, one of the most remote, heavily wooded regions of the Pacific Northwest. They weren't just on a camping trip, they were searching for Bigfoot.
The family says the two were out looking for Sasquatch.
The two were searching for Sasquatch.
According to local reports, the 2 Portland men were part of a small community, convinced that Sasquatch sightings in the area were tied to something much bigger and much more dangerous. They had visited the forest several times before, but this time, they never made it back. Days later, a massive 3-day search effort ensued, involving over 60 volunteers, including search and rescue teams, canine units, drones, and ground searchers. That's when rescue teams found their bodies, both of them victims of exposure. No signs of an accident, just gone, as if they had wandered into the trees, and something made sure they never left. What really rattled locals, though, was where they were found. Just miles from the infamous Ape Canyon, the same place that, back in 1924, a group of miners claimed they were attacked by mountain devils during the night. And it's not just old stories. In the months before the Bigfoot hunters vanished, sightings in the area had spiked. Locals were capturing these creatures, sometimes knowing, and other times oblivious of the fact that a beast might be lurking nearby.
Isn't this gorgeous?
Some say it's just shadows. Others say it's the same thing those miners saw 100 years ago. But what can't be denied is this. 2 men went into those woods looking for Bigfoot, and they didn't come back alive. And no one can explain what really happened out there. There's a place in the far north that makes the Bermuda Triangle look tame. Locals call it the Alaska Triangle, a vast region stretching between Anchorage, Juneau, and Barrow. And since the 1970s, more than 20,000 people have vanished inside it without a trace. But this isn't just about geography or bad weather. For years, witnesses have reported things moving through the snow. Massive things, covered in dark fur, walking on 2 legs.
Oh my God. There it is. It's right behind that tree.
Sometimes even leaving behind footprints. Entire search parties have gone in, only to come back with stories of howls echoing across valleys and trees stripped clean, too high for any known animal to reach. And while scientists try to explain it away with hypothermia or getting lost, native Alaskan tribes have been warning about this creature for generations, calling it the hairy man. And then there were stories linked like of Andrew Kamluck, who had gone out logging in 1931. He was found dead in the woods from a blow to the head. A piece of log-moving equipment nearby may have been used as a weapon. Sometime later, Tom Larson went out to chop wood for fish traps when he saw something large and hairy on the beach. Some say this Alaskan Sasquatch variation is more aggressive than the one seen down south. Larger, faster, less afraid to make itself known. And what ties it all together is the pattern. The disappearances happen most often in areas surrounded by dense forest, snow-covered mountains, and zero road access. The perfect hiding place. Even satellite searches have failed to turn up anything. But then, every now and then, a clue appears, a footprint, or a sighting. So whether it's Bigfoot, something alien, or something we still don't understand, something is taking people in the Alaska Triangle, and it's been happening for decades. In 1983, a 4-year-old girl named Nyleen Marshall vanished while playing near a creek in the Helena National Forest, Montana. Marshall was playing with other children who had walked ahead of her near the beaver dams on Maupin Creek. When they turned around, Marshall was nowhere to be seen. Search teams combed the forest for weeks, but what came next is what made this case legendary. Years later, her family began receiving anonymous letters. The writer claimed to be raising Nyleen off the grid, teaching her at home, and keeping her hidden from the world. Whoever it was called the FBI and gave information that only someone close to the case would know. Enough to make agents know that this wasn't a prank. But the man was never found, and neither was Nyleen. So the theories began. One stood out, the wild man theory, a feral human, a forest dweller, living completely isolated from civilization, possibly for decades. Someone who moves silently, watches from the trees, and knows exactly how to avoid being seen. In 2012, one such creature was even caught on a trail camera. This theory isn't just internet folklore. Let's go back to 1969. 6-year-old Dennis Martin was on a Father's Day hike with his family near Spence Field, a grassy clearing deep inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The kids were playing hide and seek. Dennis stepped behind a bush, and he was never seen again. There was a huge search, but then came the chilling report. A separate family, hiking nearby, heard a loud scream and then saw a wild-looking hairy man running through the trees, carrying something over his shoulder. Rangers dismissed the sighting, but the locals didn't. And that same year, hikers near Yellowstone described someone living deep in the forest, tall, hairy, and moving upright through the brush. Some believe these are simply disturbed humans living outside society. Others think there's something more to it. Something not quite human, but not quite animal either. And in the case of Nyleen Marshall, it's the silence that haunts. Because despite national media coverage, a police sketch, and decades of investigation, not a single verified sighting has ever been confirmed. She disappeared into the trees, and someone or something took her in. Back in July of 1981, 14-year-old Stacy Aris was on a guided horseback trip through Yosemite National Park, traveling with her father and a small group of tourists. They had stopped for the night at Sunrise High, Sierra Camp, a remote backcountry station. At some point that afternoon, Stacy decided to walk a short distance away from the group to take photographs. She wasn't going far, just down a nearby path to get a better shot of the lake. One man from the group watched her walking down the trail. A few minutes passed, and she never came back. Search teams were called in almost immediately. Over the next 9 days, helicopters, dogs, and dozens of searchers scoured the area, but the only thing they ever found was the cap from her camera lens. Years later, when journalists and researchers tried to access her case file, they were denied. And this led to people asking more questions. What could possibly be in there that they wouldn't want public? That's what raised so many eyebrows. Yosemite has long been rumored to be home to something strange. Over the years, hikers have reported sightings of large, upright figures in the forest, creatures moving on 2 legs, often seen at night, leaving behind massive footprints or disappearing just as quickly as they appeared. The footprints, paired with unusual nighttime sounds and rocks thrown at tents, had locals talking about something they simply call the Tall One. In fact, the same region where Stacy vanished has been tied to multiple Bigfoot sightings over the last few decades. Stacy isn't the only one to disappear under strange circumstances. Years later, a hiker named Timothy John Barnes went missing in almost the same spot. His backpack was found near a ridge, but like Stacy, there was no body, no sign of injury, and no explanation. So the question still stands. Why was only Stacy's lens cap found? Why has her case been sealed for over 40 years? And why does one of America's most visited national parks seem to have so many footprints, but no answers? On July 24th, 1997, Amy Rowe Bechtel pulled her car onto a remote gravel road deep inside Shoshone National Forest. She was just 24 years old, a promising athlete, and had gone out that day for a solo run in the Wind River Mountains, one of the most isolated regions in Wyoming. She never came back. Her car was found hours later, parked neatly at a trailhead. Inside were her sunglasses, car keys, and a roll of undeveloped film. Everything was in place, except Amy. Search teams arrived quickly, but they couldn't find anyone. And that's when people started asking the bigger question: what kind of place erases someone this cleanly? The forest she disappeared in has long been part of what some call missing 411 territory, clusters of bizarre, unexplained vanishings in national parks across North America. And Amy's case fits the pattern almost perfectly. An experienced hiker disappears alone. No witnesses, no weather issues, and no evidence left behind. But it doesn't stop there. In the years since Amy's disappearance, hikers and campers in the same region have reported something strange. Tall figures moving through the tree line, heavy footsteps circling tents late at night.
He's literally knocking.
And the overwhelming sense of being watched by something that wasn't quite human. Coming back to Amy, some believe she may have crossed paths with someone hiding in those woods, a person who didn't want to be found. Others think it wasn't a person at all. The Wind River Range has been linked to stories of creatures for decades, tall, silent, and powerful. And Amy's disappearance remains one of the most disturbing unsolved cases in modern wilderness history. Just a still forest, and a silence that never gave her back. If you live near the woods and enjoy taking solo walks, this next story might make you think twice before going out alone again. These eerie photos went viral a few years ago after being posted to Reddit by a user named Ronnie. According to Ronnie, the images were taken on his birthday while he was out exploring the forest alone, just trying to enjoy some quiet time. But what his camera captured would leave him and the internet deeply unsettled. In the photo, a dark, shadowy figure can be seen standing among the trees, staring straight at him. At first glance, it might look like a trick of light or maybe even a statue, until you notice something terrifying. The two photos show the figure slightly turning its head, meaning whatever it is, it's alive. On closer zoom, you can make out a pale white face surrounded by a pitch black body. The contrast is haunting. It doesn't look human, but it definitely looks like it's watching. Ronnie was left shaken, and honestly, I don't blame him. That thing gives off serious stalker vibes, like it was out there waiting, or maybe even hunting. Whether it was just passing through or targeting him specifically, we'll never really know. If you think your home is the safest place in the world, this next story might have you double-checking your stairs before bed tonight. This unsettling image was shared on a well-known paranormal blog by a family who captured something bone-chilling on their motion-activated security camera. The alert went off just moments after the husband turned off the lights for the night, and when they checked the footage, they froze. There it was, a ghostly, human-shaped figure standing halfway up the staircase, motionless, yet unmistakably there. The strangest part is that no one in the family was even near the stairs at the time. According to them, the house has never felt haunted, no cold spots or voices in the dark, but they have noticed strange flickering lights from time to time. Still, they chalked it up to old wiring, until this. And things get even creepier once you hear the home's history. The house has been in their family for 5 generations. Both the great-grandfather and great-grandmother had their funerals inside the house, and if anything still lingers, it's likely family. The structure dates back to the 1800s, though all official records were lost in a catastrophic flood in 1972. All they know comes from passed down stories, yet the oldest surviving documents list the home as built in 1901. So, was that figure something left behind, or something just passing through? Whatever it was, one thing's for sure. Next time your motion cam pings after dark, maybe think twice before hitting play. These guys were testing their Casper virtual ghost cameras when they captured something they were never supposed to see. This chilling image was uploaded to Facebook, where the original poster shared just how terrified they were by what the camera revealed. According to them, they were testing the Casper ghost cameras on random footage of a woman walking alone through a hallway. But once they switched to thermal mode, things took a terrifying turn. Even though the woman appeared to be completely alone in the normal footage, the thermal vision revealed something else. A humanoid figure, registering as cold, standing right behind her. Ghosts are often said to emit cold energy compared to living humans, and this thermal footage seems to capture exactly that. It's the same 2 frames, one from the normal camera and one using thermal imaging, but only one shows a second figure. Whatever that thing was, it's probably a good thing the woman never saw it, because if she had, who knows what horrifying events might have unfolded. Ever wondered what nightmares look like? This video might just show you exactly that. This video was uploaded on TikTok and quickly went viral because it captured something truly unsettling. It was filmed from a distance by an unknown hiker, but it's what's in the frame that's creeping everyone out. The clip shows a bizarre creature clinging to a tree. What makes it so disturbing is its unnatural posture and the way it stares directly into the camera, almost like it knows it's being watched. The account that uploaded the video also shared a couple of filtered versions to enhance the video. And sure enough, we can clearly see the figure gripping the tree and staring straight at the lens. Now, personally, I see what looks like a bear. The rounded back, the posture, and the size and length of the limbs really point me in that direction. But what do you think this creature is? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you think you've seen crazy, this next video will make you question everything you thought you knew. This footage was recorded in a convenience store parking lot, and it appears to capture what looks like a real-life glitch happening in the sky. The video shows a strange line that looks like the sky itself has been sheared open, or like there's a crack slowly drifting across it. Some say it even looks like a portal is forming right above us. Naturally, Reddit is going wild with speculation. While some believe it's a portal to another world, others are convinced it's a glitch in the Matrix. But after digging a little deeper, I found a more grounded explanation. It might actually be a contrail, a vapor trail from a plane, either above or below the cloud layer, with fast-moving clouds creating that optical illusion. You can compare the cloud movement to the trees on the left side of the frame to get a better idea. Still, whatever the cause, it's pretty fascinating to say the least. If you thought birds were just harmless little sky fluff balls, wait till you hear about these monsters. Thunderbirds. Back in the late 1800s, rumors began swirling across the American West of a giant winged beast, something that looked more like a prehistoric nightmare than a regular bird. People claimed it had leathery wings, like a pterodactyl, and could carry off full-grown deer like it was nothing. One of the most famous stories comes from 1890 in Tombstone, Arizona, where two cowboys allegedly shot down this enormous creature and stretched it out on a barn for a photo. That photo was said to show at least 6 men holding hands across its wingspan, 18 feet wide, maybe more. Now here's where things get weird. People swear they've seen the photos. Magazine readers in the 1960s even claim they saw it in an old issue of Believe It or Not or True West, but no one can actually find it now. It's been dubbed the missing Thunderbird photo, and its absence just fuels the mystery even more. From 1800 to 1900, multiple alleged Thunderbird photos surfaced, some showing bizarre winged creatures nailed to barns, others with groups of hunters posing beside enormous bird-like corpses. Some even show African tribes proudly displaying what they claim to be a Thunderbird, its massive wings spread out like the wings of a demon. The photos are old, worn, and strangely convincing. The lighting, the poses, the grain of the film, all seem to fit, giving them a disturbing sense of authenticity. While the Thunderbird is rooted in Native American mythology, these photos have led many to believe that it might not be just a legend. Skeptics argue they're just pictures of condors or albatrosses, both of which can have massive wingspans. But none of those birds match the size or the unnerving presence of what's shown in these photos. If you're planning a peaceful fishing trip in Florida anytime soon, you might want to see this first. This video, uploaded on TikTok, appears to show what some are calling a river monster spotted in Florida. At first, the water looks calm, peaceful even, until you notice something strange moving across the surface. As you focus in, you get that chilling realization that this isn't something we've seen before. It's swimming and wriggling like a long snake-like creature. Some viewers are even comparing it to the Loch Ness Monster, and honestly, they might not be wrong. Now, while this definitely looks like a creature from a horror story, there's a chance it might just be an injured manatee making its way through the water. Manatees have that smooth, gliding body and a similar wriggling motion when they swim. But it's the length of this thing that throws everything off. It seems too long, even for a manatee. So what do you think? Just a manatee or something we've never seen before?
Among the billions of people in the world, it's often said that family is the one group you can trust in any situation. But what if that family isn't exactly who or what you think they are? This clip will make you question everything. This footage was captured by a security camera installed in a kitchen, but what it recorded is nothing short of terrifying. In the video, everything in the kitchen seems perfectly normal. A woman is standing right in the middle with her back to the camera. But something about her is wrong. You can't quite figure it out, not until you notice her arms. They hang grotesquely long, unnaturally stretching all the way to the floor like some twisted version of a human. And just when you think it can't get any worse, she slowly turns around and locks eyes with the camera, as if she's staring straight into your soul. The uploader claims that this was their own mother. But after seeing this footage, they came to a horrifying realization. The person they had been living with wasn't their mother at all. It was something far more sinister. A skinwalker.
Most seasoned hunters think they know the woods like the back of their hand, until reality rips through that illusion, just like it did for this hunter. This chilling image was shared on X by the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization, and it's been shaking the entire hunting community to its core. The photo was originally posted on their blog, accompanied by a haunting story from Pennsylvania that's hard to ignore. Back in 1990, a 17-year-old hunter was deep in the woods when he heard a gut-wrenching cry. Thinking it was a deer caught in a trap, he followed the sound. But what he found wasn't a deer. It was something that shattered his sense of reality. According to his account, it was a 4-foot-tall Bigfoot caught in a cruel metal trap. At first, he was terrified and turned to run, but then he heard a soft, pained whimper, and something inside him broke. He went back and freed her. She slowly walked away, then turned and stared directly into his soul. That look, filled with shame and sorrow, shattered everything he thought he knew about the world. Now a police officer, he says it wasn't the creature that took his innocence. It was the realization that the world is far stranger than we let ourselves believe. While the story describes this Bigfoot trapped in an animal trap, there's also an actual Bigfoot trap in the Oregon forest, built in 1974 by Bigfoot hunters. This highlights their firm belief in Bigfoot and suggests something significant prompted them to create such a trap. Some might brush this off as just another animal rescue tale dressed up in folklore. But the image of a Bigfoot trapped, combined with the existence of that Oregon trap, forces us to consider, what if they really exist? Personally, if the officer is telling the truth, this isn't just a Bigfoot story. It's a glimpse into a hidden reality most of us aren't ready to face. There's nothing more chilling than discovering someone's final moments caught on camera, but this one hits a whole other level of dread. This clip was uploaded to Instagram by a page called Chilling Archives, a fitting name since they specialize in sharing eerie, lost footage from around the world. But the one they posted on May 16th crawls right under your skin. It starts off innocent. A family is out enjoying a quiet picnic in what looks like a peaceful park. The father is filming his wife and young daughter, capturing what should have been just another happy memory. But then, things take a turn. Out of nowhere, the daughter stiffens. She stands up slowly, with her gaze locked on something behind her father. You can see the panic building on her face. As the dad begins to turn the camera toward whatever she's seeing, it slips from his hands. The camera hits the ground, still recording, lens tilted upward toward the sky. For a few seconds, it just lies there, silent, eerie, almost like the person holding it has vanished. And then, right before the video cuts out, something moves into frame. A large, black, furry creature, growling like a wild beast, stomps past the camera. That's where it ends. Now, here's where things get even more unsettling. It looks wild, and honestly, it might be AI generated. These days, even the most terrifyingly realistic videos can be created from just a prompt. But then, there was this one comment. A user named Interstellar Dancer claimed this is real, that the creature was a bear, and this clip is actually the last known footage of that family. According to them, neither the mother nor the daughter survived. They say the video is 15 years old and only recently resurfaced. I tried digging into it, looked for news, reports, anything, found nothing concrete. But then again, maybe that's the whole point. While revisiting a cherished family party photo, a couple uncovered something so shocking that it even broke their crippling gambling addiction.
There's the good on the right-hand side of me, and there's the evil
on the left-hand side.
It looks like a dog, but Joe says
It was a demon.
This clip was posted on Reddit as well as Instagram, and it captures the chilling moment when a couple discovered pure horror hidden in plain sight. As Joe Martinez was reviewing an old family party photo, he noticed something that absolutely shouldn't be there.
I really thought, I said, man, you're really walking with Satan.
The photo was taken at his in-laws' anniversary party, and the terrifying part about it was that something was lurking right over Joe Martinez's shoulder. Joe, at one point, was battling a hidden drug addiction, spiraling into darkness. But after seeing this photo, everything changed. Over his shoulder was something that looked like it had crawled straight out of hell. A creature, dog-like in shape, but demonic in presence, looming behind him, almost as if it was trying to push him deeper into evil. His wife believed it was Satan himself, caught in that exact moment as a symbolic manifestation of the evil poisoning Joe's life. Terrified, Joe quit drugs completely and never touched them again. Today, he carries that photo in his wallet, not just as a warning, but as proof of the battle between light and darkness that once raged inside him. The image has since captivated paranormal investigators and internet sleuths alike. Even the Rocky Mountain Paranormal Society admitted this one left them baffled. According to them, 90% of the cases they receive have logical explanations. But this one stands apart. There's no follow-up evidence, no clear origin, just that one haunting image. Solo camping promises freedom and serenity until the darkness reveals a horror that makes you swear off the wilderness forever. This bone-chilling video, shared on Instagram, captures the raw terror of a lone camper's night in the woods. The footage begins, innocently enough, with the camper filming himself filling a bottle with well water, until something catches his eye that shakes him to his core. In a panic, the camper grabs his camera and swings it toward the jungle, revealing the source of his dread. A strange black figure, standing motionless, staring directly at him. Its pale, ghostly white face is visible against a jet black body, as if the darkness itself had taken form. This is no animal, no human. It's something beyond comprehension. The camper's gasping scream pierces the silence as he fumbles to capture the creature on film before bolting for his life. This scene feels ripped straight from a nightmare. The way the creature stands, its unblinking gaze locked on the camper, is nothing short of horrifying. One thing's for sure, after watching this, the thought of solo camping might never cross your mind again. Who knows when a shadowy figure like this might decide to pay you a visit? This mom took her daughter to McDonald's, but what she found in the photos afterward, it's the kind of thing that haunts you for life. This was posted in the weird subreddit by a user named CreepyFacts9, and it comes from a mother who took her little girl to McDonald's for a fun day out. Everything seemed normal. Happy meals, giggles, and a few snapshots of her daughter playing on the slide. But when she reviewed those photos later that night, something was off. In one of the pictures, through the transparent side of the slide, the mom spotted a face, but not just any face. It had an unnerving, almost demonic smile, and it appeared to be peering in from outside the tube, watching her. According to her, no one else was there at the time, and she didn't see anything unusual in person. But the photo told a different story. And as creepy as that was, it gets even worse. When she asked her daughter if she knew who or what that was, the little girl casually replied that it's Beto, her imaginary friend. Yeah, imaginary friend. The mom has been terrified ever since. Commenters were split. Some say it's just another viral fake for clout, but others, they're getting serious heebie-jeebies, especially from the girl's calm reaction. If my little brother ever says his imaginary friend has a name like Beto, I'm grabbing my bag and moving out immediately. A nursery teacher sent a sweet photo of a child playing pretend grocery store, but what the mom saw in the background made her rush to get her child. These photos were uploaded online, and at first glance, they seem completely innocent. A group of toddlers playing pretend. One is a cashier, the others pushing tiny carts, shopping for plastic food. Classic cute nursery moment, right? But take a closer look, because that's not what caught everyone's attention. Behind the little cashier, just off to the side of the play shelves, there's something else. A tall, shadowy figure, standing completely still. It looks like a soldier in a ghillie suit, or maybe something far worse. You can barely make out what it's doing, but it seems to be fiddling with the shelf, almost as if it's pretending to shop too. According to the nursery teacher, there was no one else in the room when the photo was taken. She swears this thing wasn't there. The mom didn't wait to ask questions. The moment she saw the picture, she went straight to the nursery and took her son home. And honestly, can't blame her, because when you look closely, this figure doesn't match anything you'd expect in a nursery. Long limbs, strange greenish color, what looks like tangled hair or moss, and a shape that just feels off. It almost looks like some abstract forest creature casually doing a bit of shopping. In a preschool, I don't know what this thing is, and I've tried. My brain just can't make sense of it, so I'm throwing it to you guys. There's a saying that you're never truly alone in the Appalachian Mountains, and this video might just prove it. This video went viral online because it captures exactly what the Appalachian Mountains are infamous for. It was recorded by a homeowner living deep in the region. One night, he was alone and heard a strange noise outside, so he started recording. What he captured next is pure nightmare fuel. As he panned the camera toward the glass door, a horrifying face can be seen lurking inside, almost like it's staring straight into your soul. Everything else is shrouded in darkness, but that pale, creepy face is just barely peeking through, haunting, unsettling, and deeply disturbing. And this isn't an isolated incident. There are countless other clips online showing people who feel like they're being watched or followed by something out there. This is exactly why the Appalachian Mountains are a big nope for most people. Let's be honest, none of us wants to get stalked by some creepy cryptid. In 2014, Kenny Veach, a solo hiker and YouTuber from Nevada, set out into the desert to find something strange he believed he had stumbled across once before. A cave shaped like the letter M, hidden somewhere near Nellis Air Force Base. He claimed the cave wasn't just unusual, it was dangerous. In a video, he was seen looking for the cave again, searching for a weird cave that I came across on a previous hike.
And I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday.
He described it as overwhelming, like something inside the cave was affecting him physically. Spooked, he turned back. But the internet wanted proof. Encouraged by viewers and skeptics, Kenny returned to the area to find it again, this time with his camera rolling. He never came back. His phone was later found near an abandoned mine shaft, but Kenny himself was gone. That's when the theories started. Some believed he stumbled into a military testing zone, and that whatever he found wasn't meant to be seen. The location sits just miles from classified areas near Nellis, where Black Ops aircraft and underground installations have long been rumored. Others think he may have uncovered something even stranger. They linked it straight to Bigfoot. Others knew. Often Bigfoot causes a fearful or spooky feeling in nearby humans. But then the area where Veach was doesn't really have a lot of Bigfoot sightings, so it didn't really convince a lot of people. Still, chances were there, but for others, they had other reasons. I wonder if the cave was vibrating because it was going to collapse, and maybe he found it and got buried by falling rocks. And in Kenny's last YouTube upload, he's clearly unsettled. His words are calm, but his eyes scan the horizon constantly. It's as if he already knew he wasn't alone out there. There's also the cave itself. The one Kenny was looking for, the so-called M cave, has never been verified, even with coordinates, maps, and drone searches. It's as if the location shifted or was never meant to be found again. Years later, there's still no trace of Kenny Veach, just a man walking into the desert looking for answers and disappearing into something no one can quite explain. For years, strange things have happened deep in the woods of Grimes County. Unexplained screams, missing objects, footprints in places no person should be. For a while, it was easy to dismiss until people started seeing evidence. One night, as a woman named Kathy was out, a scream echoed out from the dark. It was unlike anything she'd ever heard before. Later, Kathy found massive footprints by the tree line. It was three-toed, clawed, and was deep enough to bend the grass underneath. A few nights after that, she heard the howls, 2 of them, echoing back and forth like a call and response. That's the time when scary things began to happen. Heavy cement blocks at the gates were being moved. 8 decorative discs disappeared from the dog enclosures, ripped clean off without a trace. The next morning, they found a clump of coarse orangey blonde hair lodged beneath the 5th wheel, along with more of those same tracks. But this creature didn't fit the typical profile. Its feet were longer, slimmer, and that led to the conclusion that it wasn't just Bigfoot. It was more like a wolf man. And not long after that, another video got uploaded which showed this. For Kathy and Jerry, this wasn't some legend passed down by locals. It was real, it was outside, and it was watching. Some called it a wolfman. Others said it was just another face of Bigfoot. But no one could explain why it came here, to a place full of predators, and didn't seem afraid of any of them. In late 2024, footage captured near the mountainous region of Aguascalientes shows what appears to be an impossibly tall figure, standing motionless on a distant ridge. The proportions are all wrong. The figure appears to be at least 12 to 15 feet tall, standing perfectly still, as if surveying the valley below. Any figure at that distance would look way smaller. You could barely even notice them. What makes this sighting particularly chilling is its connection to centuries-old Mexican folklore. Long before Spanish colonization, indigenous peoples of central Mexico spoke of the Quinns, a race of giants who once walked the earth. According to Aztec codices and oral traditions, these beings were said to be the remnants of a previous world, survivors of great floods who retreated to remote mountains and caves. They were described as peaceful but elusive, avoiding contact with humans while maintaining their ancient vigil over the land. The Nahuatl people specifically mentioned giants in the region that is now Aguascalientes, calling them the Tall Watchers, beings who would stand sentinel on mountaintops, visible only at dawn and dusk when the light played tricks on mortal eyes. What do you think? Is this one of the Tall Watchers? Deep in the remote wilderness of Russia, explorers stumbled upon something that shouldn't exist. A perfectly circular shaft, carved into solid rock, descending so far into the earth, local authorities won't discuss it, geological surveys have been classified, but the footage leaked anyway. And when you listen closely, you can hear why they wanted it buried. Those sounds aren't echoes or wind currents. They sound like screams of agony, rising from depths that shouldn't be possible. Sounds that seem almost human. This isn't the first time Russia has encountered something like this. Back in the 1970s, Soviet scientists were conducting the deepest drilling project in human history, the Kola Super Deep Borehole. They were trying to drill through the Earth's crust, deeper than anyone had ever gone before. But at 12,000 meters down, something went wrong. Equipment began malfunctioning. Temperatures spiked to over 1,000 degrees Celsius, far hotter than expected. And then, the microphones picked up sounds. Dr. Dmitry Azakov, the project's chief scientist, later claimed they had drilled through the gates of hell itself. The project was abandoned shortly after. At least that is what the stories tell. I tried to find more info on this, but I was unable to. Was all of this a cover-up by the Soviet government, or is this just a story? What do you think? Something massive is about to surface.
Let it come up.
What the is that? Go!
I would be terrified as well if I was in a boat and saw that thing. Many claim this is an anaconda, and while they are known to be able to swim, they don't usually do that. The movement pattern matches large constrictors perfectly, but it does make you think about giant sea creatures as well. This footage bears striking similarity to historical accounts dating back centuries. In 1848, HMS Daedalus crew reported a 60-foot sea serpent that followed their ship, moving with identical undulating motions. Nordic legends described Jormungandr, the world serpent that lived beneath the waves. What if these weren't myths, but encounters with creatures like the one in this video? Next, we have a discovery that might shake your beliefs about everything you thought you knew about history. In a find that blurs the line between ancient myth and recorded history, researchers have unearthed a 4,000-year-old clay tablet from Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, that tells a hauntingly familiar story. What sets this artifact apart isn't just its age or preservation, but the shocking detail it contains: instructions for building a massive, circular boat designed to survive a divine flood, with animals entering 2 by 2. The images show ancient Sumerian tablets held by Irving Finkel, alongside an artistic rendering of a round ark battling a stormy sea. This discovery is spine-chilling in the best way. Holding that small, cracked tablet is like holding a forgotten version of our shared past, one that predates the Bible, yet whispers the same warnings. Whether you see it as mythology, parallel storytelling, or ancient truth twisted by time, it's hard not to feel a deep sense of wonder. It makes you ask, were the ancients trying to tell us something all along, and we just weren't listening? Ever accidentally caught something on camera that you instantly regretted seeing? Well, this video is exactly that. This video was uploaded to Instagram and has completely confused the entire community. It was filmed in a remote, unidentified location where a worker is seen casually cleaning up an area while dozens of vultures surround him. But once you realize the reason they're there, that's when it gets truly terrifying. As the video goes on, the man, who appeared to just be tidying up, suddenly lifts a skeleton off the ground and starts breaking it apart. At first, it seems like it could be animal bones. Vultures are scavengers after all. But then comes the chilling realization: it's not an animal, it's a human skeleton. The worker calmly picks up the skeleton and begins breaking it down like it's just another day at work, while the vultures lurk around him, almost like they're waiting for him to serve up something. But the horrifying question is, what and from where? Everything about this looks wrong. The vultures, the skeleton, the eerie setting, and what's worse, the identity of the location and the person filming remains unknown. It seems like the cameraman was hiding, possibly recording from a safe distance, which only makes this whole shady scene feel disturbingly real. But honestly, I can't stop wondering, what would have happened if that worker had spotted the camera? This next photo was taken by a father while his kids were looking over the fence, but when he reviewed it later, things took a terrifying turn. The image was uploaded to Reddit by the original poster, who was desperate to know what the mysterious face in the background could be. In the photo, we see 3 kids standing on a bench, peering over the fence into the neighbor's garden. At first glance, nothing seems off until you zoom in and uncover the horror. Right there, zoomed in between the heads of 2 kids, you can see a chilling, ghost-like humanoid face staring straight back at the camera. The face looks pale and dreadful, and its eyes are shining, likely reflecting the flash from the camera. Now the internet is in full speculation mode. Some people believe it's a real spirit, possibly a deceased family member, especially since the house is reportedly near a cemetery. But skeptics think it's just a trick of light, a hoax, or maybe even a person accidentally caught in the shot. But here's the thing, even if it was a living person, human eyes don't shine like that. We don't have the tapetum lucidum, the membrane that causes that reflective glow. So whatever that is, it ain't human. In 2015, a mother and daughter took what looked like an innocent photo to upload on Facebook, but something about it just wasn't right. A Redditor by the name of Improper Forum uploaded several images to the Paranormal Encounters subreddit, asking for answers. One of the photos he shared was of his aunt and cousin, taken back in 2015 at their home. According to him, there should have only been the 2 of them in the picture, but someone else was standing right behind them. Even creepier, the photo was taken on Whidbey Island, Washington, a place that, according to local history, was once a burial ground for native tribes for centuries. Now, viewers are saying, this doesn't look like any ordinary woman. Many believe it resembles a ghostly figure, possibly a spirit tied to the land. And honestly, finding something like that years later, that's a whole different level of fear, the kind that might never let you sleep peacefully again. This guy's friend sent them a picture of her just chilling on the couch, but there's something weird in the photo with her. The photo was uploaded to the Ghost subreddit by a user claiming it came from her friend, who was relaxing at her old house, a place described as very old and possibly haunted. She snapped the picture without thinking much, until they noticed what was lurking in the background. In the photo, you can see her dog staring directly at what appears to be a shadowy figure. The shadow has a humanoid shape, particularly the legs, while the upper half seems to blend into the night sky. The way it's positioned makes it feel like it's trying to intimidate or confront the dog. According to the uploader, they trust their friend and insist she doesn't know how to edit photos. But if you ask me, while the image does look eerie, it shows clear signs of long exposure photography. The bluish light, the graininess, and the color noise all point to high ISO settings in a low light environment. What likely happened is this: someone briefly held the dog. You can even spot a faint hand on its head, then moved away while the photo was still being captured, leaving behind a blurry, ghost-like figure. The strange shadows and light flares are consistent with motion blur and exposure artifacts. Still, without access to the original image file and its metadata, we can't say for sure, and that lingering mystery is what makes this photo so haunting. This next photo, from 5 years ago, might completely terrify your perspective on mirrors. This image was posted on the Ghost subreddit, reportedly shared by the original uploader's ex-girlfriend from Malacca, Malaysia. She had sent the photo in her family group chat just to let them know she reached the hotel safely, but it was her brother who noticed something very wrong with the mirror. At first glance, it just looks like a normal scene, someone relaxing, maybe watching TV. But when you look closely into the mirror, that's when things go seriously wrong. Reflected in the mirror is the ghostly face of a woman staring directly into the camera. The face looks unnervingly demonic, almost as if it's angry about the girl staying in that room. Naturally, the woman was terrified and immediately requested a room change. I mean, if something like that showed up in my hotel room mirror, my trip would definitely be memorable, but not for any good reason. It's deeply unsettling how something as normal as a mirror can hide a terrifying presence. Some believe the world we live in is just a simulation, and this video might be the unsettling proof we've been dreading all along. Originally uploaded to Reddit a year ago, this strange clip has stirred up debates and theories across the internet. It was recorded by an anonymous individual while exploring a dense forest until he stumbled upon something that looked like the end of the simulation map. In the video, we see a massive wall. Yes, a wall, standing unnaturally in the middle of the forest, stretching high into the sky like it was dropped straight out of a video game. It almost looks like something out of Game of Thrones, where the towering wall kept the White Walkers at bay. At first glance, it feels like a real-life glitch in the Matrix, but one comment gave a more grounded explanation that this could actually be a part of an outdoor movie set. What we're seeing might be a painted backdrop, crafted to blend into the environment and give filmmakers a seamless, realistic view without needing to plant props or CGI trees. Still, knowing it's part of a set doesn't take away from the experience of stumbling onto something like this deep in the woods. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but after seeing these, I never imagined those words could be so chilling. This unsettling post was shared on Reddit by a user named Timber2077. According to his account, he was hiking with his family in the remote Bunya Mountains when he captured a photo of sunlight streaming through the trees. Just a peaceful memory of nature. But what his daughter noticed later would send a jolt of terror through him. She pointed to something in the background, a woman in an old-fashioned black dress, standing motionless between the trees. The eerie part is that she was staring directly into the camera. The uploader swears no one was there when the photo was taken, yet there she is, frozen in time, like she was waiting. But the real horror came later. When he showed the image to his boss, she turned pale. Shaking, she revealed that her own daughter had suffered a panic attack at that exact spot a year earlier, claiming she felt something evil watching them from the woods. To this day, Timber says he still feels chills when looking at the photo, and maybe he should. The woman's dress appears to be from the 1960s, suggesting she may be the lingering spirit of someone long gone, but not at rest. This is exactly why I don't trust deep forests. You never know when she might be watching you. Some photos are meant to capture memories, but every now and then, they capture something that was never supposed to be seen. This unsettling post comes from a Reddit user who was simply going through old pictures with his girlfriend, taken back in 2019. Just a sweet memory, until they noticed something deeply wrong lurking in the background. When you zoom in, it's hard to miss. A chilling masked figure reflected in the glass, its lifeless face staring directly at the camera. The mask bears a disturbing resemblance to Michael Myers, only with long, messy hair that makes it look even more sinister. The scariest part about it is that the couple looks completely unaware of the figure watching them from behind. You might be thinking it's edited, right? But when I ran it through a forensic analysis website, the results suggested the image wasn't altered in any way. Some have theorized that it could just be the photographer wearing a creepy mask while taking the picture, which honestly sounds like the least terrifying explanation. But until the uploader comes forward, we might be left wondering if that masked figure is still out there, watching from the shadows. When you set up trail cameras in the deep woods, you're usually hoping to catch wildlife, not something that looks like it's watching you back. A land steward in the northeastern US shared these unsettling images on Reddit after reviewing footage from one of his trail cameras placed in a remote, heavily wooded area. But what he found was something even their team naturalists couldn't identify. The camera captured a strange creature peeking out from behind a tree. Only one eye is clearly visible, shining unnaturally from the camera flash, while the rest of its form seems cloaked in a vague, shadowy outline. Whatever this thing is, it doesn't look like any known animal. Now, if you're thinking it's just a tree stump or a trick of the light, the uploader thought of that too. He shared a daytime photo from the exact same spot, and in the daylight, there's nothing there. According to the steward, it's definitely not a deer, bobcat, or bear, and if it is some kind of animal, it's massive. Personally, it gives me serious Skinwalker vibes, like it's curious about the tech we left behind in its woods. So what do you think? Is it a trick of nature, or did something unnatural step into view that night? For more interesting footage, check this out.